Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing a review of a coding bootcamp, Wagon. I attended this myself, so I have a pretty good understanding of the program. I'll be talking about the application process, course format, curriculum, daily schedule, career services, student profile, and the cost, along with my personal tips and advice. If you're thinking about attending Wagon or another coding bootcamp, this video will give you some insight. The application process was straightforward and quick. I submitted an online application choosing the course format and the city I'm interested in. I also wrote a couple of paragraphs on why I want to attend the bootcamp. Then I was quickly contacted by the admissions manager to schedule a Zoom interview. The interview was pretty casual. I just talked a bit about my background, goals, and motivation for attending the coding bootcamp. Then after the interview, I was sent an online assessment to complete on my own time for Wagon to get an idea of my overall technical literacy. I applied on the 9th and got the acceptance letter on the 16th, so the whole process only took about 7 days. But don't wait till the last minute to apply because seats might fill up. For the web development course, you're not required to have any technical background, and I don't think you should be too worried about the application process as long as you show enthusiasm and motivation to attending the bootcamp. There's different course formats to choose from. You first have to pick whether you're going to attend the web development bootcamp or the data science bootcamp. These were the only two options when I attended the bootcamp, but I heard that they recently added another program called data analytics. I personally went to the web development one. Then you first have to pick whether you're going to attend in person or online, and full-time or part-time. The full-time program runs for 9 weeks and the part-time program is spread out over 24 weeks. They have in-person program in 40 different cities across the world, and there's also an online option. I went to the full-time in-person web development program in London. I was actually debating whether to attend the online full-time option because it was a bit cheaper and I wouldn't have to deal with the commute. But I'm really glad I went in person because even though they tell you and give you all the same materials whether you're on campus or not, I feel like I would have been a bit more frustrated if I was trying to do it at home. It was nice to be physically surrounded by students who are going through the same struggles with me. Whether to attend in person or online and part-time or full-time would really depend on your personal circumstances. If you have a full-time job, you would probably have to go with the part-time option unless your job lets you take a break. They have 40 different campuses across the world, but if it's not offered near your city and you can't afford to move to one of the cities the bootcamp is offered in, then you might have to go with the online option. And if you're planning to move to a different city to attend the bootcamp, make sure you check the language the bootcamp is offered in because some bootcamps run in French and Portuguese. If you're wondering what it looks like day to day, here it is. Except for the last 2 weeks where you'll be working on final projects all day, this is the daily schedule. The bootcamp start at 9 a.m. on the dot, so you have to make sure that you're on time. If you want to get some coffee, you should try to go 10 to 15 minutes early. They offered free coffee and tea, but I'm talking based on my experience on the London campus, so it might be different depending on where you attend the bootcamp. From 9 a.m. to about 10:30ish, there's lecture. It might be a bit shorter or longer depending on the day's topic. Then you can take a short break and you start working on your coding challenges pretty much for the rest of the day. The coding challenges will be based on the topic that you learned in that day's lecture. They usually have about 5 challenges for you to go through, but it's really difficult to go through all of them, and it's not a big deal if you can get through the end. Just try to go through as much as you can. Every day you'll be assigned a buddy to work with, so you guys can sit on the same table and go through the coding challenges together. But if you are both stuck and you don't really know where to go, then you can also create tickets with the TA. You just write a brief description of what you're stuck on and the TA will come to your table to help you out. I would say really try to take advantage of this because I think this is one of the main differences between learning on your own at home versus attending a boot camp. There are so many online resources that you can use to self-learn these days, but I think one of the biggest downside to that is not having anyone to ask questions, collaborate with, and ask for advice when you are stuck. Okay, so now back to the schedule. You'll be doing coding challenges pretty much all day except for an hour lunch break at 1 p.m. Most students in my batch decided to just get something nearby, but you can also bring your own lunch and heat it up in the kitchen. In the London campus, they had a kitchen with utensils and microwave. And you can't create tickets with the TA during the lunch break. And after the lunch break, you continue with your coding challenges from where you left off until 5 p.m. From 5 to 6, you go back to the lecture room and there's something called live coding, where the lead teacher will be doing live coding on a topic that you learned that day. This will typically end around 6 and you're free to go home. Some students will stay afterwards for dinner or drinks, but that's totally optional. And after you go home, you should try to get some rest and do flashcards to review what you learned that day. And throughout the program, your TAs and your program manager will be keeping in touch with you through Slack. Try not to miss a single day of bootcamp because you will be learning something new every day and it will get really hard to catch up if you miss out on some days. But of course things happen, and if you need to miss out, then talk to your program manager to figure out how you can catch up. Okay, now let's talk about curriculum. I attended the web development course, so that is the curriculum I'll be talking about. The bootcamp is mainly structured into 4 phases. Phase 0 is online prep work that you should do before the bootcamp. So prior to joining the bootcamp, the Wagon will send you on online prep work, which is about 40 hours of work that you should complete before the first day of bootcamp. The prep work gives you a basic knowledge of things like how the web work, terminal command basics, and HTML and CSS foundations. I didn't fully understand everything before the bootcamp, but it was fine because we went over most of the information again after the bootcamp started. But I definitely recommend doing the prep work because I think it helps when you're seeing the information for the second time, and the bootcamp moves very quickly, so you want to be prepared as possible. Phase 1 is called Foundations, and that's what you learn after you start the bootcamp. You'll learn programming basics and data structures like array. In this Phase 1 foundation stage, they'll also teach you software architecture, and an understanding of model view controller and also some SQL. The bootcamp is relatively short and they won't be able to teach you everything to become an advanced developer right away, and you might not be able to absorb all the information at the time, but it will definitely give you some basic things to get started. Then phase 2 is called web development, where you'll be learning some front-end development and Ruby on Rails to build a web application. They'll briefly go over HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but the main focus will be Ruby on Rails. And after you learn these, you'll be working in teams to build a clone of Airbnb from scratch. Then phase 3 was my favorite part, group projects. You can pitch your idea if you want to build something in particular, but if you don't have anything in mind, you can just listen to your classmates' ideas and rank your top choices, and the computer algorithm will assign you into a group. And once you're assigned into a group, in groups of 3 or 4, you design, code, and deploy a web application. Don't worry too much because TAs will be there to help you guys out. Our group was getting a bit stressed at times because we only have 2 weeks to build a web application from scratch, but our TA was such a lifesaver. Last day of the bootcamp is demo day, where all the teams present what they have been building for the past 2 weeks. Our group built a climbing buddy finder app where you can look for people to go climbing with based on age, gender, level, and your location. Overall, I really liked how structured the curriculum is, and you can also access the course material after the course ends. But please do keep in mind that Wagon's curriculum is mainly built around Ruby, so if you're looking to learn a different language, this program might not be for you. I didn't come out of the bootcamp feeling like I mastered everything, but it gave me a good idea of what other programming language I want to learn and what I would like to improve on. I don't use Ruby on my current job, but it definitely made learning JavaScript easier. After 9 weeks of coding bootcamp, there's an optional career week. It was very relaxed and only about half of the students in my batch attended. In this week, they brought alumni speakers and there were also presentation on resume building and setting up your LinkedIn. If you've done some sort of job search before, it might be a lot of information you already know, but I had the time to go, so I went. Wagon doesn't guarantee you a job after graduation, but you can still book one-on-one meetings with the career advisor after the bootcamp ends. And you can also reach out to other Wagon alums through the alumni Slack channel. In regards to how I got my job, I mostly just did it on my own. I wrote the resume myself and applied for an open position I saw on LinkedIn. In terms of timeline, I finished the bootcamp at the end of June, applied in early July, went through the interview process, got the job offer in August, and I started working in September. But of course, this timeline will vary from person to person. So you might be wondering if there's a typical student profile for a Wagon student. I would say it really varies. There were students who were 18 who were doing this bootcamp after graduating high school and before entering university. And there were students who had jobs in a completely different field prior to joining the bootcamp for many years as doctor, nurse, lawyer, journalist, etc. And the age varied from about 18 to people in their 40s in my batch. And keep in mind that students have different goals. There are students like me who was trying to completely change the career and get a job as a software developer after the bootcamp. But there were also students who were not going through the job search process because they were planning to go to university or they already had a job offer before starting the bootcamp. Becoming a software developer at a company tends to be the most popular path, but there's also students who want to launch their own business or do freelance work. I paid £6,000, which is about 6,880 euros for an in-person program in London. The cost varies from city to city a bit, but that's what I paid for the London campus. It is definitely a lot of money, but I don't regret it because my goal was to get a job as a software developer after the coding bootcamp, and it helped me achieve that goal. It would have been a lot cheaper if I did some sort of self-paced self-study at home, but I wasn't confident that I'll be able to stick through without a teacher and a group of support system where other students are going through the same thing with me. But if you already have some coding experience and you know you can learn on your own, you might not need to spend all this money. I think whether this cost is worth it is really up to your learning style, goals, and prior coding experience. Alright, that's all I have for today. Hopefully this video helped you out a bit if you're planning to attend Wagon or a different coding bootcamp. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see. Bye!